We read a very interesting passage today that is in 1 Kings chapter 17 from verse 8. And there's a particular word there that makes it quite interesting. The Bible says, "Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah, saying, Arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and dwell there." Now this is what is interesting. See, I have commanded the widow there to provide for you. Well, it depends on the Bible you are reading. Some will say, I've ordered a widow, I've commanded a widow, I've instructed a widow. All of them seem to suggest that God had a prior meeting with this widow. God told her that a man is coming, but that didn't happen. Then what was God saying then? Since this woman was not even a Jew, she's never met the God of Israel before, she's heard of him, and probably she fears him. She's not been a worshipper. She's from Sidon, not a Jew at all. And if anything, when she was suffering from the drought, she would be blaming the God of the Jew. The God of the Jew has withheld water. I don't know what she did privately, but God is here saying, I've instructed, I've ordered, I've commanded. As if he knew the woman, and he has given the woman the mandate to take care of a servant. But then, is it not exactly that? He knew the woman. He knew her. That is exactly what happened. The woman did not know that God knew her, but he does. He knew her. He knew who she was. He knew her kind of person. He knew what she would do in a situation like that. God can say, I have commanded you, because he knows you have an instructed character. A character that is instructed along the ways of the Lord. You know, he did it to many Gentiles. He sent Peter to the house of Cornelius, because he considered Cornelius a good man. And while Cornelius was doing what he was doing, he didn't know that God was noticing. He said unto Samuel, I have found a man after my own very heart. Then he directed him to the house of Jesse to go and meet David. God knew David. David did not know God knew him. God knew David enough to know that is the next king. He knew the woman enough to say she's instructed to take care of his servant. He knew Cornelius enough to know that it's worthy to be a Christian. He knew, even when they didn't know they had been apprehended. And my own message to you today is, he's watching. If you like to give it a title, he's watching. He's watching you. He knows you, perhaps more than you know yourself. He can say, I've instructed that woman because the woman was well known to me. How do I know this? The woman didn't know somebody was coming when she woke up that morning. It was a very bad day. She must have gone to her kitchen, look into the store. There was this little supply of flour. She was going to bake a little cake. She's going to eat a bit and give a bit to her son, and that would be the last meal. Well, of course, she had a bit of water in the house, but that's all she had. And I don't know how much water they would drink afterwards. That's why she said, we will eat and die. It's the only meal they knew they would eat, the only little flour left in the house. So she went out, okay, it's time to cook. I bet she delayed cooking. You know, when you don't have much, you want to eat a bit. Late, you postpone it and you postpone it. She must have postponed it until she can't postpone it anymore. I bet the son was looking at mother and saying, Mommy, when shall we eat? So she went out to collect wood. I say to you, friends, that was not a very happy woman. Collecting wood, knowing she's going to cook her last meal. I'm married. And I know my wife worries when the supply is going thin. And there in a worry, a man was coming who's been having a long journey, tired. And the man said, hey, woman, can I have a cup of water? He said, okay. Because she had water, she was willing to give. Which means what God knew over the while that has been watching her is her willingness to give. See how willing she was to share what she had. She was willing to give the water because she had water. She didn't even say anything. She turned and she was going to get the water. When the man now said something that can make any woman angry, especially a woman who had only a little powder left, just a little flour, a woman who is prepared to make the last meal and share with her son, and that will be the end. The man said, and when you're coming, please bake a little bread for me. Thank God. This is where I knew that indeed she's a giver. She turned to say to the man, hey, I can do that. She was sorry for her inability. I'm sorry, man, that I can't give it to you, because it's the last meal. If I had, I would willingly share. The woman was apologizing to a man she does not know. She was apologizing for her inability to give because she does not have, which means she wanted to give. She's willing to give. That is what God knew. God knew a woman in Sarifat who is always willing to give but who does not have. And I'm saying to you, this is what God was thinking then. That woman is ever willing to give. She does not have. So if I give her, she will give. And that is why he said, I will go there. I will supply her because her character is already instructed to give. That's what God knew. And my point today, because I won't be taking your time, is to say, what does God know about you? He will use you according to his knowledge of you. He knew enough of David to say, I found a man after my very heart. I don't know how many times God was watching from somewhere, watching David as he was singing with the sheep, watching him doing everything he did. God was watching. But David was just being David. And he was just being David. He was doing things that pleased the Lord. Enough for God to go to his servant and say, I found him. After many years of searching, God found him, a man in whom my kind of character reside. I found a man after my very heart. I don't know for how long Cornelius was doing whatever he was doing, which God was watching from afar. And God now went to Peter in a trance and said, go there. Go and extend this legacy of salvation to this man. I've watched him over the years. I know him. He has a Christ-like character. And many people like that God knew. You remember when Nathaniel, I don't know which of them was under a fig tree in the Bible, Jesus said to him, it was Nathaniel, before Philip came to you, when you were under the fig tree, I knew you. I wonder what Nathaniel was doing when Jesus saw him. But that gives him a theology that God is always watching. Your own idea of secrecy, your idea of the fact that God is sleeping, and the same you will pray. He who keepeth Israel does not slumber nor sleep. He doesn't sleep when he's keeping you. He doesn't sleep when he's protecting you. Yet he does not sleep when he's watching you. When you're doing whatever you're doing, he still does not sleep. He watches diligently to make sure whether you're a David, a man after his heart, or a Judas to be used for betrayal. I don't know what God knows about you, but I'm saying to you today that he will use you according to your knowledge of you, and it doesn't depend on what you do, what you look like in church on Sunday. He doesn't make up his mind by what you look like in church on Sunday. How can you look on Sunday but only? Because of the presence of God, we all have this pretense that we put up. We shake hands in a holy version. We talk in a holy version. But God will not judge you by what you do in church on Sunday. He's going to judge you by what you do in the marketplace when you didn't know, nobody was watching. That is why he makes up his mind about our character. And when he finds a character like him, he can say to anybody, I've instructed that one. I've ordered that one. I've commanded that one. Because being good is not natural to man. If a man is good, it means he is living a life instructed by the life of God. That is why God will make it open like that to his servant. I instructed her. I ordered her. I have commanded her, even when he has not spoken to her. It means my character has impacted her character to the production of a kind of person who can fit into my will. I don't know what he knows about you, but I want you to know that it is not what you think. It's not what you portray. It's not what you want people to think about you. It's not what you produce by lying and scheming and masquerading. It is who you truly are. God knows who you truly are. He knows about all the secret acts. He knows about all the secret thoughts. He knows about all the street secret thoughts. You know, I love what he did unto Gideon. He went unto Gideon in the shape of an angel and he said, mighty man of valor. He was revealing to Gideon something that Gideon does not know exists in him. Because he does know Gideon beyond Gideon's knowledge of himself. Gideon surprised his father, surprised himself, surprised the whole of Israel when God brought forth that which was hidden in Gideon, that which God knew. And God related to Gideon based on what he knew. I'm saying only one thing, I'm repeating myself. His relationship with you is always based on who he knows you are, which may be far different from who you're presenting to yourself and the world. It therefore gives us a responsibility to watch who we truly are. Have a meeting with yourself, a meeting with your naked self. That is who God knows. A barefaced meeting in all sincerity. As you begin to bring everything to the table, if you really meet with yourself, many of us will kneel down and say, "Dear Father, I'm sorry." The first time you meet yourself, you can see perhaps that you are in ragged clothes. Oh yes, because the revelation of self is the beginning of Christianity. God cannot reveal his son in you until he reveals yourself to you. So many things we can hide. And the greatest of lies is the lie we tell ourselves. If you can successfully deceive yourself, then indeed you are deceived. This is a woman, we can see her core. Her very core was revealed. Say, "I'll get you the water." How many women will say, "This is why I can't give you food"? Even the best of women will say, "I don't have. Go away." And the very bad-mouthed will say, "Hey, strange man, you have effrontery. Not only to ask for water, you are also asking for food. Why don't you go into my kitchen and steal it?" If she does that, then the glory of God will walk away from her. She will eat like she predicted and she will die. And she will think God does not answer prayer. She will not know the answer came, but her attitude threw the answer away. Oh, it's a good thing that we pray that God will help us to have the right attitude when we are meeting with the answer. Because the answer will always come in the shape of man. And if we have the wrong attitude, then we won't be blessed. It's not as if God is not blessing many of us. It's because perhaps our attitude throws the blessings away. Because these attitudes can chase away an angel who is bringing an answer. Because angels won't come with wings. When Elijah was approaching this woman, he probably was looking hungry and haggard and tired. He doesn't look like an angel. He doesn't look like somebody bringing a solution to a problem. She can afford to be rude, but rudeness at that instance will spoil a meeting with destiny. Your attitude can spoil a meeting with destiny. If you're listening to me, perhaps your attitude in times past has spoiled some meetings with destiny. May we have the right attitude when we are meeting with people sent from God to help us. Because they don't come numbered. "Oh Lord, I would have wanted you to paint all of the people you're sending to me to help me. Paint them in white color." Would that not be good? So I can be rude to the black color, rude to the yellow color, rude to anybody who does not come in the white color. Because I know my angels come in white colors only. God doesn't do it that way. They will come in the shape of man. Black, chinko, whatever. They will come in any of the known shape of human being. And then it is your duty, as you are instructed, the kind of instructed character you possess is the one that will open the door of destiny to you. If you have a rude demeanor, you are always sharp-mouthed talking to people, one day you will talk to somebody rudely who is the solution to your situation. Thank God for a woman like the widow of Zarephath. There's a lot to learn from her. Ask yourself the question I've been asking. What does God know about me? The true me, the hidden me, the me in the within of me that unless God help me, I may not meet. The me I excuse every time. Do you know we do that? When people are rude, we call it rude. When we are rude, we call it self-respect. A bad name for a bad thing. When we are rude to people, it's self-defense. When other people are rude to us, they are bad folks. Where will you be able to call yourself a bad person because of your rudeness? That is how to have a meeting with your inner self. That meeting is essential. I call on people today to pray, Father, reveal myself to me. Reveal to me the me you know. The me that you apprehend. The me that you can use. So that when I meet with me, I'll be able to pray right. And I'll be fit, like David, to be recommended by you as a man after your heart. I think it's time for soul searching. And if you're listening to me, maybe it's time for you to bow your heart and begin to pray. Reveal me to me, Lord, so that I'll be fit for what you have in mind for me. I want all of us to bow our hearts I want us to begin to pray. It's that simple prayer. I want to meet me. I want to meet me. The days of masqueradings are over. I don't want to hide from me again. I want to have a meeting with me. I want you to be able to say,